Hey guys, all right. It is July 13th, 2021. This is the Ortelius General Community Meeting. I am going to shut this thing off because it's going to slow things down. All right. I'm not sure if Steve is going to be able to meet with us today, so I am going to take it over. I generally do these anyway, so this worked. Let's see. Be sure you sign in to the general to the doc that I put in the chat. And to get started, just a few reminders about August. We decided that we are going to take some time off in August, so we're not going to be having the general community meetings and the outreach meetings are taking a break. We are going to continue to have the architecture meetings in August. General community outreach meeting will be canceled in August. And let me look at the calendar and let's review what those dates are. We're going to, let's see, today is the 13th, so we'll have a meeting on the 27th, but we won't have a meeting on the 10th or the 24th. Oh, no, it looks like we're going to resume the general meetings on the 24th. So the next meeting from this meeting will be August 24th. So until August the 24th. The outreach meeting, let me look at that, will be canceled from the outreach meeting. Normally would be on the 16th and the 2nd. So we will not have an outreach meeting. We will have an outreach meeting on the 27th. Wait, that's not right. When do we usually have outreach meetings? On Mondays, right? Yes. So this Monday, the 19th, Steve and I will be out of town. So Siddharth will be running that. I'll have to make sure Siddharth knows that. But it looks like it's been canceled. Because we had an outreach meeting on the 5th, which means we should have one on the 19th, and it's not on the calendar. And then the 2nd, we would cancel this August the 2nd and August the 16th. I will get together with Siddharth, if Siddharth is on here. Siddharth, were the dates for the outreach meeting canceled for August?
Which August you're talking about? Sorry.
The outreach, your general outreach, your outreach meetings. I know we canceled the community meetings, but I thought we canceled the outreach meetings as well.
I see in my calendar at the moment.
I know, that's why I'm curious. So we are going to cancel those, right? For August.
Right.
Yeah. And on this coming Monday is an outreach meeting, but Steve and I will be out of town. So we're actually going to be flying that day. So I'm going to have to leave it up to you to run that, Siddharth.
Okay.
I just don't know if you can start the meeting. That's the only thing we have to figure out for you.
Probably you can assign me a host.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure out.
Yeah. So I am going to cancel the August 2nd outreach meeting and the August 16th outreach meeting. I'm doing that right now. Okay, so August 2nd and August 16th. Let me write that down. On August 2nd and August 16th. Okay, other things that we are working on, Garima has put together a pretty thorough governance board document. She can't attend these meetings, so she wants to do a separate working group meeting. to go over what that looks like. And I'll just give you a summary that we want everybody to start thinking about. So we're following the Jenkins Community Governance Board format. In that, Kosuke had a permanent position, so we're giving Steve a permanent position on the governance board. And then we will elect 6 additional people, so it'll be a board of 7. The initial elections will elect 3 for a 2-year term and 3 for a 1-year term. And then that way we have 3 people always being elected every year, so we don't have a full change of the board. I mean, that pretty much is the core of it. The governance board then would assign roles. We would have roles such as the chair of the board, a secretary for the board, a release person, like a release manager, a security manager, and a somebody to manage the roadmap, for example. So she's come up with a few of those types of roles for the board to consider. So as you think through this, just let me see if she shared that document. I know she went over it with me. She might have shared it with me, and I should share it with a group. Siddharth, did she share that with you?
She shared with me something the last week. Is that the latest version? I can do.
Yeah, because I don't see it right now. I don't see, she was sharing her screen, so she may not have shared it with me. But if you could go ahead and share it with the group, you should be able to share it with the Google group, Ortelius_dev, I think it is.
Okay.
So as we have spoken about in past meetings, the goal for this, basically the next between now and September is to, so goals through the summer, let's just say, are to create the governance document. According to her timeline, we would start elections like the 3rd week of September. Hold elections the 3rd week.
I've shared you the link for the Google Drive. You can open the presentation from that.
Okay. Governance proposal.
But this is something as a draft. I'm not sure whether this is the.
It is a draft, but she's worked. It's a pretty clear roadmap. Let's just look at some of the basic things. This is an old one. So the draft would include 7 members, 1 permanent member to be nominated by the founder. Election each year, normally electing 3 people in each year. Period at least 3 weeks designated to encouraging people to submit nominations. And then it says here the board will meet in private, but we changed it to the elections will be held. And what the board will decide on is there can be, the board can add additional roles to the board. Let's say we have 7 members of the board, but we can add additional members to the board, but they're non-binding votes. So let's say that we wanted to bring on the chairperson for the ambassadors to the board, or the chairperson for the champions on the board. They would have they would be at the board meetings, but their votes would be non-binding, so we'd only have 7 votes. And we're going to look at using this this voting service to manage the votes. And the other thing is we have to figure out how it's done. And I believe what we'll do is take all the emails from the Google group, and we'll submit it to that voting service. which means we'll have to have a way for everybody ahead of time to say, please don't submit my email and I don't want to vote. So those are just some legal details that we need to keep in mind. We had other stuff. So yeah, I'm going to ask her. She's going to have to upload the correct one, and then I'll make sure and share it to the Google groups. This is the boring part of the open source community, but it will be good when we do get it sorted out and we can start working from it, because there's things that we can do with this. One of the other items that I've been looking at is crowdfunding. So we need to be able to do some crowdfunding in order to fund some projects. So for example, we could bring on some university students and pay them for doing particular projects. And that's how a lot of these other projects are doing it through the CNCF. So we can submit to be to become part of the crowdfunding. Let's see, I'll show you how it looks for the people who, so here are all the projects that are out there right now. And we have, the Linux Foundation gives almost $300,000 to these projects. And so what you do is you open up a particular project that you want to, someone to work on, that we want to pay somebody to work on, an internship, for example. And you assign that project to the a Git repository for that particular project, and then you raise money for it. You know, a lot of these are raising a substantial amount of money. You know, we got 19,000 over here for Prometheus, which doesn't surprise me. But I am also going to, we got Thanos got 31,000. So it's possible that we could do some fundraising so that we could do our own kind of like Google Summer of Code, where we actually can pay folks. We did that boot camp with the She Code Africa, and Deploy Hub donated the money to pay those women to participate in that internship. So we want to be able to do that. This is something that Siddharth has brought up around the ambassadors, being able to have these kinds of projects and recruit people and be able to give them a small stipend, even if it's only $500 a month. So that's the other thing that I am starting to look at, and I'm hoping that I can encourage the CDF to have their name on this rotating banner here, and maybe they can start contributing to their own projects. Let me write down what I just went through. Okay, September, Tracy covered the LFX crowdfunding and indicated that Ortelius would apply for projects. All right. The other thing we're working on is the podcast, and in terms of the outreach community. And Siddharth, why don't you just give a brief update on what the outreach community's been up to?
Okay, give me a second. I was not prepared. Let me open that screen.
Okay. And in the last architecture meeting, if you haven't seen it, Steve they walked through the work that's been done for what we're calling the service catalog. It looks pretty nice. There's maybe some changes on where the fields are, but I think that he's probably going to move forward with it fairly soon. And I think I wrote this down wrong on my screen. Today is July the 13th. And we have a meeting here. And then we should have a meeting on the 27th. And then we don't have a meeting on. This should be canceled. And I don't think we were supposed to have a meeting on the 24th. I'm going to cancel this one too. It should be canceled until September 7th. Taking the month of August off. We've all been super busy. There's no reason to try to push through August. All right. I will make sure this is correct. It should be, the general outreach should be canceled until September 7th. Yes. Anytime you're ready, Siddharth.
Yes. Okay. Can you probably stop sharing your screen?
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Good news, we have this podcast form which is already ready, handy for all of you. We have got 3 nominations at the moment. I know, that is probably on our fault. We have not reached out to all those 3 people, but we will reach out to you very soon. Please fill in this podcast form. Not too much information that we are seeking in, but something which will be useful for you to actually structure on what you want to talk about in this podcast. And pretty laid back one. We're not making it very formal. You can come with a cup of coffee or drink, and we can have this. So we've got 3 nominations, 3 responses. We will reach out to those. We're just working on something more in addition to that. So putting more structure to the podcast to it, and me and Tracy are working on it. So that's it. Sweet and small. Any questions anyone has on this podcast where we can help you out? Please let me know. And if you think you have a question which is not sorted or which needs to be sorted, just reach out to me on this calendar link. This is my calendar link. You can book any day, anytime, basis on your and my availability. I can help you out. And I could, what you've seen is after sharing this calendar details, there are a number of people who have started coming up and having more conversations around not just this podcast, but how they can contribute to the Ortelius, in which it is a win-win gaining for the Ortelius community also and for your career path as well. So if you can help out in answering your questions, please block any day, anytime in my calendar.
There's also a document for the format of the actual
Yes.
podcast. Why don't you
Do you
share
want me
that?
to share that too? Okay.
Yeah. If anybody has thoughts in terms of how the flow should go. And the point of that document that he's about to share is so that when people do sign up, they know what they need to do. And Sasha, I need you to complete the form because it wasn't published yet and it got screwed up. So I apologize, but you have to fill out your request again since you were going to be the guinea pig.
Podcast. Yeah, I went to fill it in, sorry, and I didn't finish it because it asked me a lot of questions and I had to really scratch my head, so I wanted to come back.
Well, now it's ready. Now it's live. It's published, so we need to look to see what the results are.
We're not completing it. I was like, wow, there's some serious questions here. I can't just write any old rubbish here.
You can. I think there's something in there that says anything you want to talk about. So.
Okay. Thanks, Tracy. I'll go back there and I'll go round 2 with the podcast.
And it should be the one that I published to everybody.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
As opposed to the one that we can actually edit and make changes to.
Okay.
So there should be 2 links, and one that I sent out. Let me.
All right. So the objective of this document is that once you have submitted your interest, we will share you this document to let you know how the structure of the podcast will be on the high level, not formally. I can share you with this the document. You can go through and review it. So we're saying is, what is the purpose of this document? Your Ortelius registration form, and how can you write your bio? A short intro about what Ortelius is, and then the speakers needs to fill in what topic they want to talk about, and then something as intro question, something that we would like to discuss, and some recurring question that we would love to hear from any speaker who comes to it. But it doesn't mean that we would be asking every question which is given in this section. If time permits, what could be the set of questions that we may ask the host, and probably which pertains to a larger piece of open source community, and then probably show and close, and that's it. So you may appreciate it, you may give your feedbacks, but here it is in front of you. Actually go and through and review it. We have put in our brain to it, but R is not the best brain. It's an open source community, so better we have thoughts from everyone out there.
Yeah, so just take be sure you share that with everybody, Siddharth, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in this. So if you've ever done one of these, if you've ever worked on a podcast before and you have some ideas of how the flow should look, please add it to it. Or if you just want to use your creative juices. We'd like to try to get a podcast done in August. So Sasha will probably do you first, just so we can test the water and figure out how it's going to look. So if you want to give us a date in August, we can do that. And we won't be doing much anything else. So in terms of meetings, so it's probably a good time to get it going. And here is, let me go find the form.
Am I just going to do it like a dummy podcast?
No, you're going to do a real podcast.
Darn, I was hoping to get some recipes from overseas, like some good like cuisine recipes. Okay, I'll talk about microservices. No worries.
Let me see. Which one is the real one? This is the real one. And we did make it live, right?
Yes, you sent across an email also to the Ortelius group members.
Okay. Here is the form.
You sent across only to me. You selected.
Oh. All right, everybody, there is the form. And then you put, that is, okay. So any input on that would be great. And Sasha, give us a date and when you want to do it. It can be later in August, that works. And it's only, I think, a 15-minute session that you want to talk about. And you can just give us a list of questions you want us to ask you. And it should be as free form as possible.
Okay.
Should be a relaxed kind of podcast. It shouldn't be, think about people on a radio station interviewing somebody.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe you said you can do some DJing on the side there.
There you go. Well, we get Sergio to do it. He does that really well.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay, don't pick my job.
Yeah.
I'd ask Karam, but he's a Manchester United supporter. So. just kidding, Karam.
All right. So does anybody have any potential issues with any the canceling of the meetings for August that we haven't thought about, that we might want to hold at least one? Or is everybody on board with taking the month of August off, with the exception of getting a podcast started and working on the governance and finishing our release, which is enough?
Yeah, I'm agree. I think Yeah, I have a lot of things dev doing stuff, so
Yeah.
I possibly put much more effort on the GitOps side.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, and Sergio, I'm glad you brought that up because come September, we will be really focusing. The goal is to get the service catalog updates out the door, and then the roadmap will really pivot to the GitOps, building the GitOps integration. So I think that will require all of us to really think about what that's going to look like. It's going to require us to. We're going to have a lot of documentation updates to do. We're going to have a lot of testing to do. So it will require a lot of work from the group as a whole to get that project done. The service catalog is just data entry. The GitOps is really integration into Git, automating things like pull requests and commits, as well as generating these YAML files. So it will be a bigger lift than what we have done before. At all for this group. We know that we can do it. My point is we're going to get busy with recruiting as many people as we can to do the testing. And I'm guessing that will start happening sometime around the November timeframe. And then we will want to, by the beginning of December, we will have the elections done for the governing board, and we will want to do another microservice visionaries event. So we want to do another 5-hour event so we can go through and give away, acknowledge everybody for the work they've done, do the rewards announcements, announce who's going to be on the board, and then do 3 or 4 presentations at a minimum, and maybe they'll all be around GitOps, which would be kind of awesome. So come September, we will get busy. We'll have the GitOps stuff to do. We'll have to start thinking about putting together our December end of year celebration and get some of the details done for moving forward that GitOps release, hopefully by the end of the year. How is that group going in Australia, Sergio?
I missed the last meeting, but before that, we were pretty much gaining experience with the more popular tools and platforms that are already there for GitOps. So yeah. I'm in depth doing a demo with some of these tools to share what I already have. But it's pretty much talk about the part of security, Tecton, Argo CD, customize and assembly all together to do like some baseline for GitOps work. So
okay.
we're yeah, sharing experience. I will say so.
Okay. Great. All right, so as always, we have plenty of work to do. There's never a lack of work. We're going into lots of different directions with the architecture group, with the outreach group. And if any of these sound interesting to you, please. And there's some folks on the call we haven't seen in a while. So thank you for showing up. If you want to say hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to be here again.
Let us know if
How
you're.
are you doing?
We're all doing good. Let us know if you're interested in, we have I don't know what the time zones, how the time zone would work for you, but we do have a group that is meeting in Australian time zone working around GitOps, and that's what we were just talking about.
Oh, okay, tonight, but I think 11:30 p.m. my time tonight.
That's late. It's like 4:30 what time is it there now?
It's currently 4 o'clock right now, 4 p.m.
Oh yeah, it would be.
If I can join, I'll join it.
It's 4:30 my time, so 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's about 11:30 at night for your time.
Yeah, but if I'm free, I can. If I'm still awake,
well,
I'll join.
you can always reach out to Steve. Taylor was always willing to work with either one of you if you guys want to start doing anything work in that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. I saw Gonda was on here for a minute. Looks like she dropped, but that was good to see her as well. And Rachel, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Rachel Hunt, and I am just beginning to plug into the group. I have kind of cleared my schedule now, so I'm hoping to be able to give it an hour to it every day now, moving forward. So I will probably be in touch with some people to try to ask questions and figure some things out, but I'm excited to be a part of this.
Great. And just reach out on the Discord channel anytime. You'll get everybody responds to that Discord channel pretty quickly.
Okay, thanks.
And if you ever want to reach out, you have my calendar. Just let me know. And Siddharth is another person to reach out to as well.
Great. I appreciate that. Thanks for the messages too. Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Thank you. We have reached this 9:01. We have gotten our 30 minutes. So we'll give you the rest of the day back and we will talk to you, I think, one more time. We have one more meeting for July and then August we'll have off. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye
You,
bye.
you too. Bye-bye.